into the meeting. We're gonna get started here before too long, but the lawyer has suggested that if anybody wants to have a comment, instead of raising your hand, you have to sign this paper up here, and everybody gets 3 minutes for a comment. So if anybody is wanting to speak on a comment, please feel free to sign the paper, okay? Yep. So we're going to bring this meeting to order. Please remove your hats and let's do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brenda.
Here.
Jimmy.
Here.
And Jenny. Here. Right here. And James. See, David and Floyd aren't here.
So the first thing we're going to do is approve minutes, and we have to approve them for January and February because we didn't have enough quorum to do so. So I need a motion to...
I make a motion to approve the minutes for January.
I need a second. Second. Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. And then we need to review claims for February and March, so you have them in your packet if you can just briefly look over those real quick, and then if you have any questions, we'll talk about it. Is there anything on the claims that you need to, that is any different, Gloria?
I don't think so. I don't know if I gave you guys February claims because I gave them last month and I think I forgot to bring them.
Yeah, this is
just March.
I probably have a copy of it.
I'm going to make copies of them for them. Here's my copy that you have to sign if anybody wants to look at it, but I didn't make copies for you guys. It's last month's.
You've already paid.
Here's this one.
Is that, so they can look at both of those then, and then I'll be able to look at it. So I will need a motion to, if you guys are okay, I'll need a motion to approve the February and March claims.
I make a motion to approve the February and March claims.
A second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Jenny?
Aye.
Thank you. And we want to introduce our newest board member. She's taking Gavin's spot. Her name is Jennifer Staver, so if everybody could please welcome her. And I'm going to put Jenny over the water department, but if she has any Jimmy's over the sewer, Jenny can be over the water because she wants to learn that stuff, right, Jenny? Yeah. Okay, so if you have any concerns with the water, please reach out to Jenny, otherwise, but I'll help you. Okay, Ted will help you, Seth will help you, raise your hand, Seth. So Ted and Seth. Ted's over the sewer, and
Ted?
Yeah, Ted's over the water and the sewer mostly, but Seth's also over the water and the sewer and the streets too, so they work together with Bill. They work really well together. So if you have any questions, I'll make sure you get everybody's phone number. I'll fax them all to you tonight, or text them all to you tonight. Okay. Well, we still have tabled business, and Donna and Mr. Watson is not here. Did she tell you anything about Mr. Watson wanting to bring in one of those tiny, either a tiny garage or a tiny home? You better get that before it falls on the ground. Just lay it up there. Sir. Steve.
Yeah.
Did Mara say anything to you about that? Okay, he's not here, but what are we gonna do about that?
Well, we don't really have any provisions under our zoning code for that. So we either need to adopt some provisions or we need to, it's a little bit risky, but I think you could go ahead and maybe when he's here, vote on it.
Okay, all right. So even if you wanted to put it right on the property line, is there any provisions? I mean, because before, if it was in there, it would have been grandfathered in, but don't you have to be so far off the
You do,
property
I think
lines
there
and
are
stuff?
some setback that don't apply to everything.
Okay, all right.
So I think you could apply your zoning code to that.
Okay, all right. on that when he comes then.
I'll help me, I'll just flag my thing.
I did wanna discuss that we have a lot of, not a lot, but we've had several, of the old Verizon telephone poles, which have caused a problem in our town. They are falling down and the electric company won't take care of them. The phone company went out of business, and when you call them, even with the little serial number on the telephone pole, they don't wanna take care of them. And so I guess we as a council need to decide what we're gonna do to take care of those situations.
Who took the one down off Main Street the other day?
I don't even know who cut it. The one that fell down by my house, my husband actually cut the lines off, took the part of the line across the street of Harrison Street, tied that line to that, and we drug the rest of the line that was laying on the ground of Harrison Street up into the ditch line of the field, and then somebody, of course, stripped all the copper out of it and all that stuff. But the telephone pole is still laying there, and so is the wire. So my question is, even Ted or Seth, what do you guys suggest? What are we gonna do in those situations? Because it has to be addressed, and if the phone company won't do it and the power company won't do it, are we gonna make it the homeowner's responsibility if it falls there? Is it gonna be the town's responsibility if it falls on, what about you, Steve? What would we do about that?
I don't think if it's on the homeowner's land, it's their responsibility.
But if it falls across the streets or whatever, like those wires were on the streets, right?
It was hanging like at a 45-degree angle,
Yeah.
which is slant. And the thing is, they come down, they're gonna take out other wires, it's gonna get on.
And traffic, right, because it's near streets. So what do we do about that?
If you could afford to do it, I'd take them down with the towns.
And then what can we do with those? Because I don't think you can burn those because of the stuff that's on them, right? So what would we do with those?
I would contact John Davis, maybe he could help me.
And John Davis is from where or over?
They work for hire,
For hire?
yeah.
Okay.
If he can't do it, then he might know somebody that possibly could help you out.
Would you possibly have a phone number or a contact information? So what do I look up to find him? For hire?
I know him.
You know him, so you can find me that information. Thank you,
Fire
Sarah.
construction.
Huh? Hire construction. Okay, thank you. For telephone poles.
So those wires are not active anymore, they're not, there's no cable, there's no phone money running through that.
There's not, yeah, that was my first I was afraid that they might have live stuff to them, but the one that we cut down didn't, and the one that those people cut down didn't, so. But I don't want just anybody doing it, cause if there was something live to it, then we would be liable, so we'll contact these people and see. Okay, that takes care of that. So now we are to the point where we had interviewed police officers. We had interviewed Chris Jacks, and we also interviewed Alex, don't tell me, Heath. And he's already been hired as a reserve and just been out there hanging. So we need to vote on one for deputy and one for marshal. So I need a motion.
I'll make a motion, yard Jack is marshal and Keith is deputy.
I second.
Okay, let's vote on that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So you have a position and you have a position. I know you're gonna have to give a 2-week notice, is that correct, sir? Yeah, so you'll just let us know what your start date will be. But if I go ahead and set up your drug screen and stuff I think you can go clear up to 7 o'clock at night, and you can go early in the morning, so you'll be able to go do that at your leisure. I think they give us a week to do it, don't they? Yeah, and it's just LabCorp in Muncie. So, and I'll get yours set up for tomorrow. And then they have to have background check too, so I don't know what police, do you know a police officer that can do yours? You do, and then once you get yours done, then you'll be able to probably do, but you probably already have one anyway from where you work, but we still gotta do one anyway, just because that's our policy. All right, we'll get those scheduled. And then I wanted to let you know that I got a call from one of our constituents that live in this town who has a handicapped child. And she came out to the parks and there's nothing for handicapped children out here. And she wanted to know what we could do about that. I did reach out to Darlicia for grants, but grants take a long time to work, because the railroad will give us something for handicapped children. But does anybody have any suggestions as to what we can do in the meantime? I mean, anybody have any suggestions? Jenny, Jennifer?
She asked for a swing, I mean, can you buy them, like,
I don't know.
How
Can we
old
just
is your
purchase a
child?
handicap swing and put up out here?
You can.
Okay, and we don't, I mean, there's no provisions that say it has to be a specific kind, and we're not liable once we put it in, it's just parents is liable for
Like any
it.
other,
Okay, so I'll look into what it costs to get a handicap swing, and then I'll have trustee Wesley Seth put it in or something.
You should approach a Lions Club and see if they have funds that might fund something like that.
Oh, contact the Lions Club, thank you. Thank you, Todd. I think that's an important thing, we need to do that sooner rather than later. Sewer, water, streets, Ted and Seth?
Actually, I'm gonna do the presentation. Seth is, still a little,
I wanted to
uneasy
put him on the
with
front line,
Shannon,
Ted. Thank you.
uneasy with, public, speaking and stuff, so. Start off with water plants. Again, Seth is doing a great job doing all the testing. I'm just there doing it as backup, as well as, Stouter Industry, Stouter Consulting. We're having, IDEM is coming in to do an inspection on June 17th. They were here 2 years ago. They identified a few shortcomings and stuff, and so we're gonna be working, Seth and I are gonna be working on those, before the, so we're ready for the inspection. We did meter reads in March, and we did, the entire town in 2 hours, which is, I mean, usually took like 2 days and stuff for 2 individuals. Special thanks out to the Waldos and to, President Beatty for volunteering to help read the meters. We are doing the, so about right now, half the town is the smart meters. We're hoping to finish off and get the whole town with, on the smart meters. And, by the summer, it really depends on how much work that, Miller pipeline is gonna throw at us. There's also, we're gonna be putting an antenna up on the water tower, so that way we can actually do the meter reads in a few milliseconds and stuff after that's up there. Just going back to the water tower, there is a shield. I know that there was vandalism, there was somebody scaled the tower, spray painting graffiti on there. There's actually a shield that goes over there's the stairs that start about 10 feet up off the ground, and then the shield that extends out another 8 to 10 feet. That shield broke off about 6-8 years ago and just hasn't been replaced, so we've got that down, and Seth and I are probably going to be, and along with Bill Tressler and stuff, we're going to be probably getting that shield up there, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. We also had, there's an electrical panel over by the water tower. That panel had rotted away, it's just on some wood planks and stuff like that, so Seth and Bill replaced that just recently. Circling back to Miller Pipeline, last year Miller was in town replacing gas lines, and so there was a bit of a lot of miscommunication because the previous employee didn't share any information about what's going on. They also told Miller that they were allowed to do certain things which nobody else knew about, such as dumping their stuff into our town dump. So that really led to a lot of confusion. Also, in terms of Miller wasn't given any explicit instructions on how to backfill. So we met with Miller on March 21st, and right now we've got great communication with them. We instructed them how to do the backfill, so that right now we've got some dirt that was backfilled in the lanes, and all the dirt now is coming up and causing a huge mess. So they're actually now understand how to do the backfills. They also are restoring the alleys and roadways that were not backfilled properly. So we got that, we worked all that out, and we're also going to do a walkthrough. We've got a I said, if anybody has questions about what's happening with Miller and stuff, now we've got information, so we can share it with anybody.
So they're gonna go back and fix the roads that they only put sand in and not gravel, right, that are sinking, right? So the alleys or whatever.
So they are actually gonna go back and backfill that with gravel.
Okay.
Probably.
Alright, okay.
Another thing, Seth is actually spearheading a project. If you've ever noticed, the signage in town is very, very poor. We're talking street signs, a lot of the street signs are down because the wind just kind of rattles them around and stuff and they fall off. Traffic signs, a lot of them are damaged. They're an old design and stuff, or just plain old missing and stuff. So Seth is spearheading a campaign where he's going around, he's actually rejuvenating the signs that we can. You can use decals like on stop signs or whatever, but the ones that are just too far gone, we'll have to just buy and replace. Seth also identified that around the school, there are no pedestrian crosswalks and stuff, crosswalk signs. So that's a big thing that we have to fix and get going on. So that'll be, again, this ongoing project that's going to fulfill during the summer. Sewer plants, again, we're doing a lot of routine maintenance ourselves, Seth and I, and so that frees up Bill Tresley to do other activities, such as the town has a power rodder, which can be used to cut through roots that burrow into sewer lines. And actually, so Bill was able to get that running, and we were actually able to use that to open a sewer line, actually on Saturday 15th, and we had to go back and double check something with that. So that's an important thing, because right now, before that, we would have to actually contact Cooley or Watson in order to free up water or sewer lines and stuff and cut through, because we didn't have the equipment. But now that we have the power rod running, we can actually do that ourselves, so it gives us a great deal more capacity. And also, just really quickly, the long-term control plan, as I've mentioned in several previous meetings, our sewer plant really suffers when it rains and stuff, because a lot of the rain, the stormwater ends up in the sewer plant, and we just have to shut things down with it and stuff like that. IDEM really doesn't like that as well, so they have, in the past 10 years or so, really tasked us to come up with a plan to get rid of that stormwater so it doesn't end up in sewer, it just runs off directly into the creek. So on December the 31st was the deadline to put together a long-term control plan to control that flooding. So I actually took it upon myself to put together the plan. It's 150 pages long. If we had done this through an engineering firm, estimates are that it probably would have cost the town about $20,000. A lot of people were a little skeptical from IDEM and everything else. Turns out IDEM accepted the plan and stuff like that, a few minor revisions and stuff, but really pretty good. So now comes the hard part. I'm actually working with the Indiana Financial Authority, and we're going to try to find funding for some of these projects. Again, there's 3 major projects. Each one is about $2 million. The town can't afford that ourselves, so we're looking for grants, not loans, but grants where we can actually get money for it, so that we don't have to pay it back. And we're also doing some other smaller projects and stuff that. But again, I can go into that on a different meeting and stuff, because I think we've got a full agenda. So that's it.
I just wanna say that we cannot please everybody, but we have an amazing crew with Ted and Seth and Bill, and they are doing fabulous, fabulous work. So I know that we try hard to please everybody, but we can't, but kudos to these guys, they need a. Also wanted to let everybody know, in conjunction to that I have talked to Seth, and hopefully he'll be able to be freed up at some point to maybe cut some of these low-lying branches that are in the roads, you know, going down streets and in alleys. So sometime, hopefully he'll be able to, I mean, we're pulling him in every direction, but hopefully at some time we'll be able to utilize him to get some of that cleaned up too, and that'll make the town look better. Okay, Mr. Fraley said that he's gonna start mowing after April 1st, and he again wanted to know if we wanted him to, there was an extra charge, I can't remember how much, but he did the city building last year, cut all the bushes, trimmed all those, and then it stayed pretty much maintained after he did it one time, so I didn't know if you guys were okay with, approving Mr. Fraley to go ahead and trim those bushes and those trees up at the city building so that it looks decent when you walk up there.
Need a motion then for him to
Yeah, I
trim
need
the
a
trees
motion to be able to do that,
and trim the bushes up at
Yeah.
the city building where she's at.
yes.
Okay, I make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. And then I need to talk about the cost of the installation of the smart meter radio tower. Gloria and I are working, I still thought that we had close to $6,000 of ARP money left to go towards that. And I just shared with the attorney the estimate to put it up on the water tower, and it is, if anybody wants to look at that, it is $18,641.20 just to install it. Now, they said that is minus $7,000 if they get to the top of the water tower and there's something there. And let me look at my text message from, he just texted me a little bit ago and see exactly what he said. He said, I did say that if we don't need the first items on the list, which is on this list and everybody can look, he said, we don't know if we have a mounting spot to mount the antenna, we will need that item. If not, we can subtract $7,000 off the project. So until they come and look, I'm not gonna know. We did vote months back that we would do this, but I need to check with funding first to see where we are with funding, and then where that ARP money might be, if we have any left, which will be $6,000 towards this. Then the $7,000 that could possibly come off, that would only leave us paying maybe like $9,000 out of our budget. And if that be the case, it's gonna be great to have it up, because then everything's gonna go straight to the city building on their computer, and we don't have to worry about taking the little iPad out and going door to door to door to try to figure out where these leaks and stuff are coming from. So it's gonna be a great thing to do. We just have to see what our finances are. So we'll bring that, if you could bring that up for the next meeting, I greatly appreciate that. No problem.
Is all the smart meters paid for?
Yes,
How much did we pay for the smart meters?
a lot.
How much is it?
Well, the majority of the ARP money that we got all went for those smart meters, lacking the $20,000 that we paid for the radio read. It's the radio read that goes on the tower itself. And then, so what was it, hundreds of thousands of dollars, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was it $650,000?
I don't know about $650,000. Well, we can go back and get the bills and submit it to you though, Jimmy, and let you look at those. We can do that.
It'd take a couple of years to put the rest of them in.
No, they'll have the rest of them. They really did work hard and got half of them in last year, and they'll get the rest of them in this year. They did a great job. Thanks to, Waldo, where is he? Your husband's not here tonight, is he? Brian helped, and that helped, and then we had Todd on it too when he was here, so that helped. It gave Bill extra help, cause we didn't have Seth at the time. Let's see, water adjustments. We got a letter from,
We had a lot of them from last month and this month. Okay, the first water adjustment we have is at 422 West Main. The bill was $478.99 and $381.03 was taken off, which made it $97.96.
their leak or ours?
It doesn't say.
It's theirs. It was underneath their house.
Theirs.
Okay.
And then
Go ahead.
the second one was at 15 South Elm, and their bill was $430.83. We took $189.70 off. The new bill was $241.13. And then we had one at 526 North Spencer, and the bill was $396.90. We took off $278.61, which made it $118.29. And then one at 29 East Main, it was $579.51. We took off $483.96, which left it $95.55. And then on Central, 801 West Central, it was $529.64, and we took off $292.56, which left it $237.08. And then on 9 South Union, the bill was $226.57, and we adjusted $59.29, which left $167.28. And then we had one at 33 South Meridian. The bill was $780.09. $258.77 was adjusted off, which left it at $521.32. And then we have one at 112 South Burr. It was $1,166.30, adjusted $1,070.75, was left at $95.55. Is that the same one? There was two down there at Burr Street, Billy?
Just one,
Okay.
but they, their bill's always $95.55. They had a big bag leak.
Okay, because there was one that says that, one bill was $1494.40, and it was adjusted to
That's a different person.
Oh, it's a different, the same address it says.
Oh, I just messed up then.
Okay. And then we got this one here, it's down at the,
It's that big one at the building that we
yeah,
go
that
over by
antique
Bruce's
store,
house.
yeah. So, let's see what this one says.
That's kind of complicated. They had a leak, and she said that they did not put the water did not go down in the wastewater, because they took a sump pump and pumped it outside.
Yeah, and
So
then
she
where did it
wanted-
go? It went into the city sewer system through the drain system, because it run down the street into the drain system.
Oh, well, we need to tell her that. I didn't know. I don't know that part. I just said she wanted to know if they could get that taken off because she pumped it outside and it didn't go in the wastewater. That's all she said.
Did she have a leak,
Yeah.
Okay, she had a leak.
But she wanted the next month adjusted because it was the one that was higher.
She's allowed a leak. If she
Yeah.
passed a leak, she's allowed a leak, adjustment on a leak.
One
Yeah.
adjustment a year, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, so you adjusted one and she wanted the next one
I
adjusted?
haven't adjusted any,
So
but
you're
she
gonna-
just wanted the wastewater taken off the one and said she would pay the water bill. But she
Okay.
didn't wanna pay the wastewater,
Okay.
and she wanted the next bill adjusted.
Okay,
Well, if she gets her leak off, she just has to pay the minimum, $95?
Yes.
Okay.
and then you got this, whatever this is.
Oh, that was just a note written about the one on Burr Street.
Okay,
We
alright.
contacted her.
So I need a motion to make the adjustments.
I make a motion to make the adjustments.
A second. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So contract agreements, we don't have any, however, we do have a contract. I have been working with Alliance to get a water audit done on our town. We haven't had one done in years. And then I know that Mara worked with a company, I can't remember the name.
Stone Municipal Group.
Okay, and because she says we have to have this water audit done, and it doesn't matter who does it, we just need to get it done. But these guys are going to charge,
$285 an hour, not to exceed $12,000.
and Alliance said that their guy would do it pretty much for nothing, so I think it'll get done whether we have to use these guys or Alliance, whichever we're going to use, but I just want you to know that we are gonna have to have that done sooner rather than later, so.
Who says you have to have one?
The bond issue that you did requires a rate study.
Yes, yeah, and we found, where they had changed an ordinance a few years back that required a 3% increase, and the way it's worded, it didn't get followed through with or whatever, and we can't make any changes to the water, good or bad, until we know what the water rate for our town is supposed to be, so we're gonna have to have that done. And then I wanted to, let everybody know that we are gonna have to pay to have the police cars detailed. There are burn holes in all of in the doors, and there are cigarette burn holes in the doors and the seats. And the cars are nasty, so they really need to be detailed, so I need a motion to be able to have them detailed. I guess it will be $500 or less for both cars.
Both of them's that bad a shape, you know?
You need to go look at them. One of them had puke all in it. So, and
You need a motion in to get them
detailed,
on the
yeah,
road?
yes. So
I'll
you
make
make,
a motion.
alright, so all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Where are you getting it done at?
Mr. Jacks, where's the best place to get them done?
Just be,
It's
okay,
a guy down at Muncie.
I'm glad you came.
So will you give Bailey that name, please?
Yeah.
Alright, thank you. And then our lawyer has recommended, I don't know, for those of you that came in late, so if you want to make a comment, there's a comment paper up here where you have to sign now, and you get 3 minutes to make a comment, which I'll pick that up now, and,
Now you do that, or is I on the agenda?
you're on the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah. So anybody else need to sign this so that everybody knows? But that's the way it'll be for the rest of our meetings, okay? Okay, Mr. Lovell.
Got several things for you, so I'll try to keep it short. The stuff we went over last meeting, Second Harvest Food Bank, we did our first tailgate last Wednesday. Went really well. We actually had about twice as many cars come through as what we have in the past. And that one we ran 2 lines of cars instead of just 1 line of cars, so we're gonna need a lot more help than what we've had before. So I did post on the Redkey Town Hall page a sign up genius, basically where you can go in and sign up for it. You just have to put your name, phone number, and email. That'll help us keep track.
How old do you have to be, Mark? Can kids help, like
Kids can help.
teenagers?
I believe it has to be. I have to look back at my notes again. I did ask that. I think it has to be 16, and they have to have an adult with them.
Okay,
But I'll look and I'll double check that and let you know
Okay.
for sure. But yeah, like I said, I think we need about 16 people, it looked like, from this last one to do it, where we was needing about 7 people before.
okay.
And the only request we had, they were wondering if it'd be possible to open this up for people to be able to use the restroom, volunteers. So it's about 10 o'clock in the morning, which is right at the end of coffee time for everybody.
I think, sorry, that the concession stand, the bathroom was open for that and the water turned on. So I don't know if that was what was being used before.
That'd be better.
Yes.
Okay, that would work through the fall until they turn the water off up there. So that would work short term, as long as they leave it unlocked. I know they used to lock it all the time.
So we'll just make that plan, in the winter time, we'll let you come in here,
Okay.
and in this, and it's for basically the employees that
volunteers,
are helping,
yeah.
right? Yeah. As long as they respect and clean up so that these guys don't have a big mess in here.
Absolutely.
And then in the summertime, we'll use the bathrooms at the ball diamond.
Okay, I'll check and see if they leave those unlocked.
That's perfect.
Would it be any better for during the fall to move it to the town hall, and then you could have people come in the back lot there?
You don't have near enough room.
Yeah.
We've got people lined up halfway down the curb.
Yeah.
When they open.
It's big.
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah, we had 100 cars come through.
Gotcha.
And probably 3/4 of them were lined up when it started.
Good deal.
The other thing I brought up last meeting was the LED lights around the poles uptown. So we've got somebody that would like to put LED lights up. It would just be using town electricity, so just need to get your guys' permission to do that.
I thought we voted to do that.
You didn't have enough for a quorum.
Can I have a motion to get the LED lights put up uptown?
I'll make a motion.
A second. All in favor? Aye. You got that?
Thank you, I'll let him know. And then the other thing we talked about last time was the request for the new pumper. I know you don't have one. Do you guys need this again?
I don't need it again.
Okay. So basically, just to catch you up a little bit, all of our trucks are getting older. Our backup pumper is a 1981. It barely passed the pump test last year. And the gentleman that did the pump test said it most likely would probably blow the engine if we did it this year. He had a concern about that, so we're in need of a new pumper. And I've got on there, I guess, several different possibilities. I won't go into all the detail again this time, but I know, I guess our request was for you guys to look into which one of the options was best to pay for it.
The lawyer looked into that, it's either the CUM or CAP fund that she was talking
CUM.
about, yes, and she said that we're not allowed to use it for the fire department, so we have to figure out another way. And I know she's not here tonight and she is working on something, so can we bring it up again in the next meeting, please?
Yeah, basically we just have to get something in place by September, October, when our next pump test is due. So.
Mark, we pay $1,100 for that guy inspected. How often does he inspect it?
Every year.
Every year?
Yep.
Same time every year?
Yep, right around that September, October time frame, and that's both of our pumpers. You gotta test them.
So one passed real good and the other just barely made.
Right. So
Then
far.
Then I have another question. How often are we using the one that barely passed? How often are you truly using? I know you have it as a backup for a secondary, but when is the last time it was actually taken out?
That one we do not use very often, and that's one of the discussions we've had up there. Once we get a new one, we need to make sure we're alternating and taking both of them out, and that way both of them get use over time. Keep them both up and going good. Yeah, as far as having, to use two of them at once for two different fires doesn't happen very often, but when it does, we need it obviously. So. And then the other thing, we've got several events coming up, so just looking for our normal permissions for all of those. The first one actually don't need any permissions for, but we've got a fireworks fundraising breakfast Saturday, April 5th up at the fire station. Fireworks continue to go up and up every year, so we're looking at different ways to try to raise money for that. So in addition to the businesses and individuals and organizations we hit up, we're also going to have a fundraising breakfast, so encourage everybody to come out to that, April 5th from 7:30 to 10:30. The next thing, let me get my list back out, make sure I don't miss anything.
Before I forget, I'll tell you, there's $15. John Cave was doing, what are those called? Notaries up at the city building, and he was taking $5 per notary, and he had done 3 before he left, and he wanted to donate that to like candy for whatever you do for kids, something for kids, whether it's Easter egg hunt, whether it's Halloween bicycle or whatever, but there's $15 up there. If you would stop up at the city building, Billy will give you that to donate to whatever fund.
Well, the Easter egg hunt is the next thing, so that might be the best thing.
Okay.
Go ahead and do that. So the fire department Easter egg hunt is April the 19th, which is the Saturday before Easter.
And I put that on the water bills.
Yeah, and that's at the elementary school at 10 o'clock. And then the next thing, Fun for Kids is having the Culpeper and Meriwether Circus coming in again. That'll be on Tuesday, June the 3rd. And we have shows at 5 and 7:30 for that. And really, they cover the insurance on that. Really, the only thing we need from the town, there's a water spigot out there in the middle of that field. Do you know if that still works or not? If we can check that and make sure, because they need water for the circus on it, for the animals, yeah. Sorry. The next thing, June 14th, we'll have our fire department truck pulls out there at the truck pull track. Fireworks this year are July the 5th, which is a Saturday after 4th of July. And then the other thing is Gas Boom Days. So Gas Boom Days is August 9th and 10th this year, which is a Saturday, Sunday again. Just looking for our normal permissions to close off the road on Friday evening for the setup through Sunday evening. We'll get everything tore down, open back up again. Then you guys usually do a sponsorship for us with water and electricity. And then the other thing is just making sure we can use the old fire station again. So we usually set up in there for our raffle and everything like that.
You guys have the remotes, you can get in there.
And I think that's it.
I got one thing, talking about
I'll double check my notes while you're asking.
the gas boom days. What can we do about that old carryout down there that's all falling in?
Okay, I was gonna bring that up.
That's a hazard to any kid walking down that street.
So
That's all, it's
I
all falling in.
contacted Glenn Barber, who owns that, and I told him that I wanted that cleaned up, that it was an eyesore, and that it was dangerous. And he said that he was going to come and do that last Thursday. I haven't noticed that he didn't do it, okay? And I put another text message out to him again this morning. And he's like, he wants to donate the building to anybody who will take it because it costs too much money to refurbish it. So,
That's like donating the city dump. Who wants it, you know?
well, I do have somebody who is willing to tear it down and take it and tear it down and clean that mess up. So,
Then that would be their property.
that's,
Would that be their property then?
then it will be their property, yes,
Who is
yes.
that, Ben? Who is it?
Watson's.
Watson said they turned it down?
Yeah, and they'll probably just make it a parking lot because it's that close to the railroad track, so,
That way they'll build another building, put trucks in.
you know, I don't think they could, it's too close to the track, but I think that they'll do something with it, but they are willing to take it off of his hands and tear it down and clean it up so that, you know, it doesn't cost the town anything.
It'd be nice just to beautify that strip right there. There's just, them old buildings were, I don't know what they were on the same side of the road, old apartments or whatever. They're just an eyesore. I mean,
They are.
maybe Watts got to tear them down or
I
something.
think Wambach owns them,
Oh my God.
he does.
Well, I'm gonna work on this one really hard because like I said, I have a text saying that he's willing to donate it to somebody who wants to.
Yeah.
Clean it up.
Does he know that Watson's will turn it down?
I sent him a text, he just hasn't called me back, so I'll just have to call and reach out to him. So it is gonna be taken care of and clearly be taken care of before Mark has people walking up and down the streets up
That'd be
there
great.
because I mean, it's dangerous.
Yeah, we just missed that by a couple weeks last year.
Yes, yes, we did,
Yeah.
yes.
No, it happened after.
It was right after Captain Village.
Thank you, Mark, for all that information. And-
Brenda is 16 too, to help with the second harvest tailgate. 16 or over,
Okay.
and then 16 and 17-year-old, we need to have an adult with them.
Okay, 16 and 17 plus an adult, okay. Spencer Codwell is not here.
Just add that Bill Watson and Watson Excavating has been very generous to the police department and the fire department in the past. I've suggested if he has an opportunity for that he gets that opportunity.
You know, another thing I wanted to mention too is that Mr. Jacks hasn't even started on our force and he has already applied for some grants that are out there. And he hasn't gotten big grants, but he has gotten grants already given to him for our police department to utilize. So, I mean, there are grants out there, you just gotta take the time to look for them. So I wanted to say thank you for that. Yeah. It was too good. Thank you. Okay, Kara Kramer. Is there a Kara Kramer? No, it says putting a drop box outside the clerk's office for Narcan.
Yes, she came in and she brings Narcan in there on the thing, and they come in the other day, she was gonna come here, she wants to put one to mount outside, so that people could just get it out there instead of coming in. Kinda like at the hospital, you just open it up and get it out. She wanted to know if they could do that.
What do you guys think about
Well, the
that?
hospital, it's a machine.
Well, it'd be a machine there too.
I think it
It's
should
free,
be,
it'll be free.
as long as it goes in the back and not the front.
I would think it'd be in the back, I would
Yeah,
say.
I would think it at the back would be fine, I don't know, what do you guys think?
I'll make a motion.
I'd rather have, be in the back.
In the back, right?
Yeah, and who's to say that the first person that's gonna open it up is gonna take it all?
No, if they take it, they take it. I mean, there's a camera back
I
there,
know,
by the
but
way.
how many she plan on putting in there?
She didn't say, but she brings us bags full at a time, and we just lay them up there, people take them,
You
but.
can't open it up, it's like a vending machine, you just punch in the buttons and then it'll pop one out.
Okay, okay. So I need a motion to put that in the back, if that's okay with
I'll
you
make
guys.
a motion to put it in the back.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Alright, so yeah, she can put that in there. Are you gonna reach out to her then?
Yeah, I can.
Alright, thank you. And then we have Alicia Miller.
Yeah, I just wanted the alley on the other side of us, it's supposed to be a road, years ago it was, and then it was an alley. It goes back to the farmer's fence and stops because it can't go to the right how it used to go because the barn's in the way. And I'm gonna be mowing it and cleaning up the fence row, but I wanted the alley closed.
So we have to know, we'll have to
It's
have,
the end of Delaware Street and instead of turning left on the curve, you would turn right and it's right there. Yeah.
the first thing we have to know is if there's any.
I know there is though. And another thing, our front yard has got the old-fashioned brick sidewalk
Yeah.
with the curb there. Yeah.
There's a list of things that we have to look at first, Alicia. We have to make sure that there's no utilities
Yeah.
like, sewer.
Yeah, you told me
Yeah,
that.
we have to
Yeah.
make sure, so I'll send Bill and Ted and them down there to make sure
Yeah.
that there's none of
The
that.
only
And then,
thing I see is our street light out front, you know, kind of the end. But, the only pole I see is, behind Caleb, you know.
which is an electrical.
Yeah.
So, and I know that there's 5 things that you have to, Ted has a list of them, right, Ted? There's 5 things that have to be in place before, will you get with Alicia? Ted will get with
Okay.
you on the 5 things that have to be appropriate before we can even
Do
think about
anything?
that, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then we'll put her on this.
Cause we're not digging it up or anything like that, you know, we just want, I'm gonna be taking care of it and I just like it closed. That's all there is to
So
it.
we'll put you on the agenda for next month after we see if those 5 things are,
Okay,
if you work with
alright,
Ted.
sounds
okay?
good, thank you.
You're welcome. And then I'd like to introduce Sarah. She's been working on a .org website and email for the town, and she has all that information.
I don't speak in public, so Ted will speak.
Okay, Ted will do it.
All right. Well, if long-term control plan was out of my wheelhouse, this is totally out of my wheelhouse, so, so basically, Redkey had a website, the townredkey.org, which is hosted by a paid site out of Portland and stuff, and for a variety of reasons, we decided to terminate that contract in January. This is a website that hosts like official town documents and payment plan, payments, things for water bills and everything else and stuff. This is different from the Facebook page. So since that was closed down, my wife's been looking around for other options and stuff, and she came around, she found the Indiana Office of Technology, which offers a program that provides not only the subdomain, which would be in our case, townofredkey.in.gov, but also, and that's like, so if you go to GoDaddy and stuff, you want to register a website and stuff like that, so this is what they kind of do, but they're actually giving it to us for free because we're an Indiana town. They also offer DNS services, and basically what this is it's a state-run organization. The website conforms to state regulations for web designs and everything else. They're secure websites and stuff, so you're not going to have people coming in and doing all kinds of attacks on the website and stuff. So they'll provide all the security. There'll be proxied subdomains and stuff, and like, you know, so bots and malicious traffic signatures and everything else and stuff. So they guard against all that for free. So what Redkey, actually, my wife set up a meeting March 9th, and what we found was that there is a, Redkey doesn't need a fancy schmancy web design and everything else, so we can actually get a free website. Even though it's free, it still creates like the Redkey, it'll be the townredkey.in.gov, so it's very official. And along with that free site, we get infrastructure, so we get 4 support requests per month that we can do. Again, that's all for free. We can migrate up to 100 pages of data from our old website onto this new one. Right now, we only have 9 pages of information that we need to migrate from that old .org site. There's online and group training. We can have up to 10 administrative users. Again, there's a payment processing plan for so you can pay your water bills on there, any kind of other fees. And there's web forms on it, and there's also really great looking calendar access and stuff. And so what that will do is like you'll be able to pull up a calendar and it'll show you all the activities happening in April and stuff, so you can see when the council meetings are. You can see where, like, with Mark can actually populate all of his information about the various programs that are going on in terms of the gas boom days.
The police can, the fire can, right?
Yes. And also, like if you wanna reserve a cabin, all those cabins, the dates that are available for the cabin to be reserved and stuff are gonna be open, and accessible there. So, it'd be a great thing, and one of the things my wife identified was that, like right now, a lot of times people look at the Facebook page and they'll see some activity, but it's already 3 days too late. This thing will allow you to like look at the whole month, or you can even scroll up to May, June and stuff like that, and see what's happening in the future. There were 3 different templates that were reviewed, that my wife reviewed. She looked at what she recommends is it's called an adaptive template. So it actually it's a flexible template and stuff like that. So it'll actually, if you're looking at a computer versus a tablet versus a smartphone and stuff, it will automatically size to that screen size and everything else and stuff like that. So it's very adaptable. So she's working already. She kind of said, well, we don't have the .org site, so let's just go ahead and start working on this again, because there's no commitment to funding and stuff by Redkey. So what so this IoT folks, again, meeting in state folks, they're going to be starting the web design April 1st. Right now, their internal timesheet is that they're going to be done by about April 15th. So they'll be finished with their QA and everything else and stuff. So they'll check to see all the security and everything else is up there. We're going to start getting our hands on this thing on April 16th. And again, this will be something where we're going to be, kicking the tires and stuff and on this website and looking at, if it meets what we want. Their training will be offered between April 16th and May 7th. Again, we should be up and running and live on May 7th and, May 8th, sorry. And so what we're hoping to do is by next meeting and stuff, we'll be able to maybe throw up a screen and stuff and show you kind of like what it all looks like and everything else. So what we're going to put on this website are the town ordinances. And I know that Mara's been looking at kind of cleaning them up and organizing them somehow. We're going to put up reservation forms again for the cottage here and stuff like that, for the cabin rental. And again, the community calendar and stuff like that. So we'll put out all that's happening in Redkey. Then what other things the other things that we were thinking about, actually my wife came up with some suggestions, is like a history of town Redkey. So we want to get together, and I know that there's already a website and stuff for this history of town, so maybe we can get together with those folks and migrate some of that information over. But anybody who is, if you're, again, I like this, the older and wiser members of our community, maybe you can volunteer to come out with some stories, photos and everything else and stuff of what's happened, what important things or important people that visited Redkey and stuff. So, and also what we're going to do is have featured businesses in Redkey and stuff. So this will be like the Redkey Junction. That will be, the axe throwing, valves and everything else. So that way, what we're thinking is that, if anybody is like somehow has misfortune breaking down the Redkey and stuff and looking for things to do, they can actually look at this website and stuff and say, hey, this is some of the things that we've done out there. So again, this will be, if anybody wants to volunteer to help out, because I know my wife's been volunteering and getting a lot of this stuff done on our lunch breaks and everything else. So, but if anybody else wants to volunteer, and even if they enjoy doing web design, again, this is, I have no idea what any of this means, but web development, and you don't need to know CSS or HTML. So.
If I'm not mistaken, we can upload our live videos, we can live stream to that .org site as well, right?
We can live stream through the enterprise accounts.
And it'll go onto that website, the .org website, right?
We can do that, yeah.
We could, if that's what we choose, right? And then there was something else I was gonna ask about that. Go ahead, Ted, I forgot. I'll think about it in a minute.
But we're also, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. We're going to put Google Forms out for people who have history information that you can fill out the Google form, and if you have photos you can attach to the form, and then it will upload if you have stories, history of Redkey. We just like to bring, exposure to the town and the businesses. I've got a Google form for the businesses to fill out with their information and what they highlight, or if they offer discounts to Redkey residents, or, or sponsors or whatever. So we're trying to, just try to bring light to Redkey with this website. And since it's free, we might as well utilize it, what we have.
Thank you, Larry. Thanks.
Sure.
And then, switching gears a little bit and stuff from the website to emails, one of the things that was identified is just in terms of email systems, continuity, security, and control of emails. Right now, people have been setting up things like the town clerk has a Gmail account and stuff, and there's other utilities and stuff that have just Gmail accounts. That actually has an issue in terms of continuity and stuff like that, because we had recently an employee that left. All the email from the various critical state agencies were going to a certain email address, which is all lost now. And this can be very important and stuff like that, because we have been in this situation now where we've been contacted by some of these state agencies, kind of like, hey, you missed a deadline and stuff. And it's like,
Same with the police type.
yes. And also just recently we found out that the clerk's email, in July, that it was actually going to a former employee's phone to be authenticated and things. So what my wife found was that there is, that you can sign up for these emails, and I think the URL will be whatever, like right now we're thinking about like police or water or something like that, or streets at, is it townredkey.in.gov?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so the nice thing about that is that we will have, or the administrator will have control of those emails. Whoever is the police, the utilities, the water, streets, or whatever, will have access to those email addresses and stuff to communicate with people. If a person leaves, that email address will then be, we'll have the administrator can take over that email and then assign it to the next person. And so all the email threads, all the contacts, everything else is still in that email. This also has advanced security measures, so it prevents people from hacking into it and getting, and just, doing malicious things with it.
And it meets the Indiana regulations for security procedures on emails and stuff.
So important, we need that,
Yeah.
because we had so much trouble when we all first started about getting stuff off of emails that was lost, and we almost didn't meet time crunches because of it, and that'll never happen. It'll even help for the future people coming
Yeah.
into town to work for Redkey, so.
So with this, it's, so I'm just trying to get all these notes and stuff like that, because again, I have no idea most of what I'm saying. I mean, it could be,
I'm pretty educated on it to me, Ted.
They all sound smart to me.
So basically with these accounts, the email accounts, because we are a town, because we're going through, I guess we just kind of like a little pitiful and everything else, they're offering us a $16 per user per month rate. And again, that's an excellent price for what you're getting in terms of the security and everything else and stuff. What we're looking at is maybe right now, I think we have identified 10 licenses, so that's going to be $160 per month for all these licenses. Again, this is a tremendous value.
Only for the emails, not for the site. The site itself
Right.
is free, the emails is the only thing that costs us. So I'm gonna need a motion to be able to approve the $160 a month for emails that belong to the town of Redkey, and when an employee leaves, they don't take it with them, so that we don't lose precious information. So,
I'll make a motion.
okay, Jimmy makes a motion to, okay the emails for $16 at 10, which is $160, and I need a second. And Jennifer seconds it, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. Got that, Ted?
That's it.
Got one thing.
Yes.
You said something about, people would be, go online and maybe book the cabin for a particular day, like July or June or whatever.
Right.
Will they be able to make their payment at that time? Like they're
still have to go through Billy is the way I understand it, right? They'll just be able to see what's available, right?
Right.
And
Right.
Billy will still have to schedule it.
But we don't have that finalized yet, how we're gonna do that part of it, but,
Okay.
yeah, that's all in, that's
Well,
all.
it would be good if, you know, it could be handled like that. I mean, just like renting a hotel or whatever,
Right.
you know.
You can
Instead
see
of
what's
going to the
available.
hotel that day, you could go ahead and put your account information in there, your credit card or whatever, and be paid for it. But,
And there is a payment system for our water bills that can be paid through that site as well. I don't know if there's a 3% credit card, or, we don't know any of that stuff yet, do we, Sarah?
I thought the payment system that we currently have, where we would just piggyback that onto the new
Okay,
site.
so they would piggyback what system you already have onto that site, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Because they do, if we went with these guys at IoT, they will have some sort of charge.
Yeah, there's some kind of fee for that.
Okay, so they'll just piggyback the one that we have already.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Is there any questions by anybody? Council? Okay.
And again, special thanks to my wife.
Yeah,
for
thank
doing
you,
all the
Sarah.
work.
We had conference calls while she was still at work and on lunch breaks, and she squeezed a lot of stuff in. She's amazing, so thank you for everything that you do for the town, we appreciate you. Even though you don't like to take that, but we appreciate you. We did get State Board of Accounts was in today, and the audit is complete. It will become public sometime mid-April. Is that the way I understood it? I think they said mid-April. Nothing will be discussed or talked about until it's public knowledge, and then everybody will have the right to read what they found. We have a lot of work to do, that's all I can tell you.
It wasn't me though.
No,
Before me.
no. We just have to cross our i's and dot our t's. How about that? Did you get that? Okay. So now we have some public comments. I would like to welcome Brad Grady.
So, most of my comments was gonna be directed to two of the members that aren't here, but maybe they're watching. I'm gonna say them anyway, so. The number one responsibility for the government is to protect its citizens. And this board has failed the community over the last couple of months. I'm glad that the officers were hired this evening. But there was there's two opportunities to hire a new police officer. And Dave and Floyd, who are not here, which Dave was sitting in his car when I pulled up. I don't know why he drove off. They refused to show up to the meetings to vote. And I would argue Dave and Floyd are partly responsible for some of the vandalism, because they didn't show up to the meetings to vote. Instead of addressing the town's needs, Dave, Jimmy, along with his daughter, looked into the background of one of the board members and strong-armed him to resign. Now, if he hadn't resigned, they would have had a vote in February, and we would have had a police officer. I mean, these are actions taken by a vengeful, tyrannical government, in my opinion. So it sounds like basically if you disagree with Dave Devilson, he's going to come after you. And that's not right. And I looked into the background of Dave. So, like, in the last year and a few months, there's been roughly 18 meetings. So out of the 18, Dave has missed 5 regular meetings, 2 executive meetings, and walked out of 2 meetings. And this year, he's missed 2 meetings, which once again was for the vote to hire the officers. So that's 61% of the time Dave has not showed up or walked out. Who of us in here, if you didn't show up for work 61% of the time, would still have a job? And I would like to know, is he getting paid?
Yes.
So who would that happen to any of us?
Right.
61% of the time. There's some other things I have about Dave, but I'll try to end on a good note. This town board needs to put aside any differences they may have when you walk in here and sit down. And you need to have the focus of the Redkey and we the people. That's what your focus needs to be on. Thank you.
next?
I just want to have an extension on what he had to say about Dave Donaldson. He chose himself to be over the park, and nobody's over the park right now. And this playground out here is a shambles. I went to 3 other small towns around here and looked at their playgrounds. They're beautiful.
I know,
Ours is CRAP, I think.
yeah.
It's a good place to start out there, but we need, I know we can possibly get some funding, but where's our guy that's over the parks? Maybe that needs to be over here with one of these other two. You know, that's my part of the history. I got to say
I will
that.
work on that too. I do have Calicia, our grant person, I said, I started off with that, looking into grants to help with our parks. Two, if the town purchases a paint, I didn't know if anybody would be interested in helping me possibly paint up what we do have to make it look better until we can get these grants in place. And plus, I'm gonna call the Lions Club, thank you for that, and see if there's anything that they can do. But if anybody would be willing to help on a nice warm day, paint up some of this stuff, I would greatly take volunteers, and we could make a big day of that, so. Right, so.
Paint would help, but just putting lipstick on a pig is all.
I know,
Yeah.
but until we can get the
Yeah.
grants or get the funding or figure out what we're gonna do, at least it won't look as bad, you know what I'm saying? So I will start working on the parks stuff as well, I'll take that over too. I mean, you want 2 duties?
Hey, I'd rather.
How about
I'd
5?
rather do parks.
think a
than
lot-
water.
You want parks?
I'll do
Fine,
parks,
okay.
I'm,
Then
I'll do water.
I'll take fire department then, and we'll relieve Dave and Floyd of their duties until they decide to come back and be a part of our team.
Why don't we start a petition to get rid of them since they're not showing up?
Well, the council is not can't do that, but you, the people are what pays them to do their duties. If they're not doing their duties to your satisfaction, then you, the people, need to decide what you want to do.
When I called the state down there,
Huh?
she hooked me up with Vivian, the lawyer down there.
Okay.
Vivian said you can go to the prosecutor. Tell the prosecutor what's going on. Now, these guys here cost $300 for them 2 they missed, plus they had to pay us $300, plus they had to pay the lawyer. I don't know how much they paid him. And I've been to the prosecutor about 5 times and I can't catch him. And also I've called. I was turned in to the state cops stealing up out of the city building,
Which you didn't
and
do.
I didn't do a thing up there.
Yeah, false.
But that city building belongs to the town. And it belongs to us, we pay the bills, and all we had to fix the lights was left without on and everything. But that's where we're at today. Now, the state already knows about it, because I called it.
So the state
So
told,
if you
the
wanna
lawyer Vivian at the state told
figure out
you.
what these 2 guys has cost us in the last, when they missed a meeting, we didn't have her here. It's just me and you.
Right,
The town had to pay them 2, us 2, and a lawyer.
for a meeting
Put
that
them in
didn't
the
occur.
process.
I think we should talk about maybe passing an ordinance where if you don't show up, you don't get paid.
Can we do that?
It's an elected position, so we have to check into whether or not you can do that. I don't think you can do it by ordinance, but there may be a way to do it.
So we're gonna have a lawyer check into that, are you all folks all right with that?
Yeah, but that's,
Yeah.
So if you could have Mara do that, we'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you for all coming to the meeting, and I think that concludes everything that we had to talk about. It was a lot, done at 7:10, great meeting. Oh, you got something else? Anybody got something else?
I was gonna go check on my lights.
Meeting adjourned.
Hold on, we got
Wait,
I do have one thing.
okay.
I don't know if it can be made public, but the amount of money that's being spent by, council members calling an attorney about town problems, that should be being brought up in front of the people, not just to the attorney. But that's something we can allow the town to know how much money is actually being billed to the town over one person making phone calls.
I think that we should wait for Mara to come back so that she can testify to the amount of calls that she's had from certain members for things that did not pertain to the council. But until she's here to speak up on that, I don't wanna
I'd
say
like to
anything
know how
on
many
it.
times Dave called about the other, trying to get the other member off.
That's what he's talking about, so, alright, well,
I just got one question, I just thought of, what did you find out about the town clock?
We are still working on grants for that. We have all the estimates in now, the roof estimates, the siding, the windows, the clock itself. We have all of those estimates, and let me tell you, it is way salty. So we're working on grants now, we're just waiting on the grants to come in.
I didn't put my name down, but I just thought of this when they were talking about doing that, the pay, your bills on the web page. Somebody spoke to me a while back about seeing if we could find it cheaper than what we were doing now. And I have talked to 2 people, and they said they all go to the bank, is one of them, and they said they all go through a third party, so there always is gonna be a fee. So that's, in case anybody asks, we cannot get that free, where they pay their bill free.
Okay, all right, thank you for that. All right, meeting adjourned.